got that muted now.
Got a nice group here, Glenda.
Yeah. It's 1:30. Shall we begin?
Go for it.
All right. First of all, I want to welcome all of you. I am Glenda Harper. I am the Florida Disciple Women's president. And it was, after all these years, this was given to me in the middle of coronavirus. So, wow. So we want to begin our worship team leader is going to begin with prayer. Florence, would you begin us?
Unmute, please.
Florence, you got to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Go.
Okay. Unto you, O God, we give our thanks and lift our hearts in prayer. May your presence be with us and your love surround us as we work together as women of faith. Open our eyes to the needs of the world and fill our hearts with concern for all people. Guide us so that we may truly serve you through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Florence. That is the Disciple Women's prayer. And for your information, we will close with the Disciple Women's benediction if you want to be prepared for that. I first of all I've made notes so that I try not to forget anything because we really only have 15 official minutes and we have a lot to cover in that. But I want to introduce you to your cabinet during that time. I've already told you that I'm Glenda. I am your president. Our vice president is Coral Weedman. Coral, will you wave at everybody? Coral?
Who is she?
Our secretary is Rachel Battaglia.
Glenda, could you ask them to maybe say something, a brief hello? That way our screens will flip and we can put a face to their name.
All right.
Hello, Melissa. Hi.
All right, we got Coral then. Our secretary is Rachel Battaglia.
Hi, everybody. I'm right here.
All right. Mary Jo Shelton is our treasurer. Are you here, Mary Jo?
Hello. Hello.
Good, good. Our worship team leader is Florence Alexander, and you've already heard from Florence. Thank you, Florence. Doretta Stevens is our study team leader. Is Doretta on here? I'm not seeing Doretta. I'll make her wave if she joins us late. Mary Bushell Colton is our social media team leader. Mary, are you here? I don't see Mary. Elizabeth Anderson. Elizabeth, I know you're there because you've already spoken. Elizabeth is president of the Hispanic Women's Ministry of the Southeast Convention.
Yes, hello everybody. This is my first time here and it's been blessed.
How about Eileen Zimmerman? She is our social justice team leader. Eileen, are you here? I'm not seeing Eileen's name. We'll try to grab her. How about Linda Kurtner? Linda, are you on here? Linda is immediate past president and still part of our cabinet as part of that. The very most important thing that we have to do today is to bring you up to date on the Disciple Women's Fall Retreat. And I'm going to try to cover as much as I can because we have other important things to do too. But it's so good to see your faces. I can't wait looking at you to look at my notes. There is so much history about the Florida Disciple Women's Fall Retreat. It used to be held in the spring for those of you who've been around a long time. And then it was moved to fall. And in the fall, we had 2 back-to-back retreats, one Thursday and Friday and another Saturday and Sunday. And they were exact repeats of the same event, but the facility was full each time. But we have so many traditions and so many things, and then the coronavirus hit. And so we are facing, what do we do with this retreat that's so filled with so many traditions in the midst of the coronavirus? We were even faced with the possibility of having to cancel this event. But I'm here to tell you that this event will go on. It's going to look just a little bit different. We are going to gather around our screens of our various devices instead of gathering at the conference center or the retreat as we're calling it today. The history of Disciples Women began back in 1874 with the Christian Women's Board of Missions, which became the Christian Women's Fellowship and is now Disciple Women's Ministry. And it is so full of stories of strong, faithful, committed women. They had no vote, they had no voice, they had no official position in the church. And from these humble beginnings grew many, many of the important branches of what we now call the Christian Church Disciples of Christ. I am in the process of rereading In the Fullness of Time, which is the history of disciple women. If you have not read this, or if you've read it a long time ago, I invite you to reread it. It has given me new energy when I read what all of these women went through. When I read about our four sisters, what they had to do to bring us to the place that we are today, it reminds us that we have got to move forward because we are leaders in a new and uncharted territory, much as the women behind us were in their day. So as we plunge ahead into the world of technology, searching for ways to continue together, to continue to do ministry, to continue as women of faith, here we are planning a new kind of fall retreat. It will be a virtual event with some in-person participation. The event will begin on November 14th at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. The registration forms will be available next week, so look for them on the website or in your e-glimpse. You must register so that you can receive the information to join in, much like what you did for this event. And I repeat, it will be a virtual event, but the cabinet is going to gather at the retreat. The event will originate from First Christian Church in Ocala. If any of you are close enough, or you really just don't want to be part of the virtual experience, you will be welcome to join us. Safe practices will be strictly observed, meaning face mask, and all of your cabinet has Disciple Women's face masks. There will be social distancing. The pews in the sanctuary are already marked off, so there will be limited seating. But we will be out of First Christian Church in Ocala. I want to make that clear. There will be no charge for the retreat, but if some of you are traveling and you need accommodations at the retreat or meals, there would be a fee to try to cover those expenses. All of that information is going to be on your registration form, so look for that very carefully. Also, at the close of the virtual event at 12 noon, those of us who are there in person will be going to the retreat for a box lunch, which will be outside, and we'll have the opportunity to look at a new FDWM project, which you're going to hear a little bit more about in a minute. But when you register, include your email address, and we will email you the resource book. At our last retreat, you were all given this resource book that's full of information. There will be a new resource book that will look like this, and it will be sent to everybody electronically. If you really want a hard copy and you're a diehard and just can't do without the hard copy, indicate that on your registration form, and there will be a small fee to cover printing and the mailing of the resource book. But we're trying to make that available to everybody, either electronically or mail it to you. But we do ask you one thing. Please pre-register and don't just show up. If you're going to come, we need to know that you're coming so that we can be prepared for the numbers that's there. Let me tell you about the program. Our program speaker is still going to be Chesla Nicholson. Her information was in the last resource book. Chesla is the program director out of the Office of Disciples Women. The theme will still be healing and wholeness, which was our Just Women theme for this year. Chesla, besides her presentation, will share some information about changes that may be occurring in the Office of Disciples Women. And if you did not get the information, our executive director, Pat Donahue, has resigned as of June of next year. So there will be changes happening, and she will tell us about that. And she will also be telling us about Just Women, the new Just Women for next year. And if time is permitting, there will be time for some question and answers. That's a whole lot in a nutshell very quickly. But pay attention to your to eGlamps and the information. We also have a Disciple Women's Facebook page, and we'll be putting information on that. But we have other information we want to share with you, and I'm going to call on Mary Jo, who is our treasurer, to talk about our blessing boxes and project money, because our work is going on even though we aren't gathering in the same way. So Mary Jo, can you share with us, please?
You're muted.
Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is how to send in whatever offering that you have is to FDWM at 640 Southeast 56th Avenue, Ocala, Florida. And we know that the blessing box is just one of the ways that we women of the Christian Church Disciples of Christ express our gratitude to God for the blessings that we receive each day. And many of you have a blessing box or some sort of special vessel that you place your dime or your quarter or your dollar as a spiritual discipline for your giving. But during these difficult times, we still recognize the blessings that God has given us. And like Glenda said, since we're meeting virtually these days, you can still make your blessing box offering and just send it to this address. This is my home address, and just mark what it is, if it's blessing box or if it's project money. And some of you already send project money to me throughout the year, and that's greatly appreciated. But over the past 20 years, more than $3 million has supported the mission and ministry of the church. So while we can't do much else, we can continue to make a difference where we are. And we also have a new project this year, and I'll pass off that portion to Mary Beth.
All right, Mary Beth, tell us about our new project. It will be at the retreat.
Yes, your new project at the retreat is to put up a fence. Doesn't that sound exciting? The fence will surround 2,000 square feet of butterfly and hummingbird habitat. The new project actually is not just a fence. It is the Memorial Butterfly Garden. It will be between the new Faith Pavilion and the edge of the property, and it will be 50 feet wide and 40 feet deep. We have a master gardener in our congregation in Ocala who is helping us design it, choose Florida-friendly plants. I went to Disciples Women initially to the cabinet and asked if they would be willing to fund the fence that will surround this beautiful garden. We have beautiful deer that visit and live on both sides of our property. And a few years ago, Rebecca tried to plant sunflowers, and they were going to be 10 different varieties from 12 inches tall to 12 feet tall. And the deer let them get 12 inches tall, and they all got eaten. So when I pointed that out to our master gardener, he included in the design a fence that is going to be decorative and beautiful, and you all have already committed to making that fence part of your gift. So the garden itself will not be started until the spring, when it's best to plant those kinds of plants. They'll all be Florida friendly and or Florida native. And it's just going to be a beautiful addition to our facility, and will provide a place for people to walk and pray and meditate. There will be benches. The idea developed after our loss of Brittany Sire. You all know that Brittany was both a camper here and a counselor. And I had many campers reaching out to me, what can we do? And so it is not just a memorial in memory of Brittany, but anyone who wants to donate to the Memorial Garden will have a plaque or a sign commemorating the loved one. The Disciples Women committed $3,500 to for the fence, and it will be in honor of our past presidents, our past Disciples Women presidents. So I see Melissa has asked the question, how much needs to be raised for the fence? And I'm going to pass that on to Mary Jo.
I thought you were covering that, Mary Beth.
Well, it's $3,500.
I thought
It
that's
is-
what you said.
You all committed up to $3,500, and I don't know if you all are planning to how that's going to work. Are you going to raise those monies, or is it there and you just need contributions to come in because it's going to go out? How's that going to work?
Well, we're committed
In the
to
past,
we're committed to the $3,500, and if we have donations that come in through the project offering, that will just reimburse ourselves so that everyone can be a part of making their contribution to this project.
We'll be accepting contributions for that project, right?
And those go to Mary Jo's house? The contributions would be mailed to that address?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I put it in the chat too, Mary Jo,
Thank you.
so they can see it. Because I was racing Pastor Jen to get it in the chat. The Memorial Garden will also be hopefully a certified Monarch Way station. This is a national program, and it will be we will do what we have to do as a part of the project to provide both food and if you know anything about monarchs, they have to have milkweed to eat. They lay their eggs on it, then they eat the milkweed. Once they are butterflies, then they need other plants to eat. So and a few other things. It's going to be pretty exciting, and it will be a beautiful addition to our facility.
What's the total cost of the garden, not just the fence?
We don't know yet. The $3,500 is the fence. My idea is that people will give what they can, and we will do with those gifts based on, there may be some campers that want to send $5 for a plant, and we have some plants we can get from the master gardeners for $5. There will be people that want to put a bench or contribute artwork that will, I created a beautiful document that you're going to see in your resource book when you get your resource book. But the fence itself is 4 feet tall with just wire that the plants can climb on. And then 2 feet above that will be an open spot where we can hang dream catchers or hummingbird feeders or stained glass pieces. The campers can make bird feeders of some sort that will hang in that space. So it's going to be an ongoing project. We're going to, that's how we're going to progress, excuse me. I don't think we'll be processing. We're going to progress one step at a time, starting with the fence and then putting in the beds and going from there. So if someone has money that they want to give and say, this is for a bench, or this is for a water feature, or this is for mulch or manure, you can contribute manure if you want to.
Mary Beth,
Yes.
who will take care of the maintenance of the garden as years go?
Rosalind, there is no maintenance. This is a magical garden.
Oh, it's going to take care of itself. All right.
Actually, the master gardeners here in Ocala, John Holcomb is a part of the master gardeners, and he has several who are are willing to help as well. So it's going to be an outreach project. It will be partly, it will all be volunteer, but it will hopefully be
Not part of your job.
once it's
Maybe.
established, it might be a fun part of my job. Once it's established, it will be self,
Sustaining.
thank you.
Yeah.
A lot
Okay.
will be in the
Mary Beth, real quick, Linda, I'm sorry. Mary Beth, the first step is work days on October 24th and October 31st, and the fence is going to be part of that.
Absolutely. If you all, we'd love to have whoever come on October 24th and 31st. Those are 2 work days. We have project managers because we need some sprucing up at the outdoor chapel. That's a big project that's going to happen. The fence is going to go up on the 24th. That's a big job. If you're not physically interested in building a fence or helping renovate the outdoor chapel, then there are other things like weed pulling or cleaning plants, inside plants, fake plants, whatever those are called. All kinds of sprucing up that needs to happen. We have not had many groups here, and I have tried very hard not to spend much money. And so things need loving attention. So
And-
October 24th and the 3rd. And what, Glenda?
I said a lot of that, what you're talking about, is going to be in the resource book that we're talking about sending to you electronically. Thank you, Mary Beth. I don't know how our time is here. Is Mary here? Mary was going to talk about social media. Have we got Mary Colton on here? I don't think Mary signed in with us. Is Eileen?
I think we have about 5 minutes left, Glenda.
Yeah.
We have another meeting that starts at 2, and this one has to end before that starts.
Mary is not here. Eileen, is Eileen on here? There are some things about social media. We will get you that information. I think Doretta is not on here. Is Doretta on here? Doretta Stevens? Doretta? I don't see her. Well, this has been really wonderful being with you all and able to see people. We kind of asked for this time. It's very short. We're going to ask Florence to lead us as we end with our Disciple Women's Benediction. All of you may join us in this, please. Florence, are you ready? Thank you all so much for joining us. We can't wait to see you. We will be a little more prepared. This was something new, but we now know that we can do it because Disciples Women can do anything. So we look forward to being with you for our virtual fall retreat. Be sure to register. Florence, are you
Yes.
going to lead us?
Yes.
Wait a minute, Florence. Wait a minute. Has everybody seen the chat? Coral just put in the chat. The Facebook site is FDWM. Florida Disciples Women has its own Facebook page. That's what Mary was going to tell you, but Coral got it in that in the chat, and I didn't want anybody to miss that.
And we will be sending out more information about that, how to get information in our Facebook page. Florence, are you ready to close us?
Yes, I am.
Please join us.
God,
God be
merciful unto us and bless us and cause your face to shine upon us,
Shine upon us.
that your way may be known upon the earth, your saving help among all nations, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
You all are wonderful. I miss seeing you in person, but this has been great. Be sure to tune in for the fall retreat because we'll be a little bit more experienced then. So great to be with you all. Bye-bye.
Linda.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
Nice job.
Bye, bye.
Bye.
Love y'all.